Offseason report cards for all 32 NFL teams. This is from Yahoo Sports. They grade the Browns a C, which I find interesting. Juan Thornhill comes over as a free agent, brings winning pedigree Cleveland needs. Selecting a couple of linemen from Ohio State in the draft will please the locals and should help the offensive line that needs work. Okay. Also choosing Dorian Thompson-Robinson in the 5th round was peculiar when you spent what you did on your current quarterback. All right, so in the rationale portion of that, he's a rookie and a 5th-round pick. You need a developmental quarterback. They clearly liked him. As far as the offensive line needing help, maybe depth, but both of those guys were pretty good picks, and they haven't been guys that have gone out and drafted Ohio State Buckeyes, so I don't think that fits into it. And the other thing is, what did you want them to do in the offseason? They needed a wide receiver. They got 2. They got a 3rd-round pick, and they got a young wide receiver, Elijah Moore. They needed defensive line help, and they went out and got a whole bunch of it. I'm not sure how you grade them a C. I just don't get that.
No, listen, I don't either. When I hear this, I think to myself, you bring in Juan Thornhill, okay, and that's great. You know the Browns traded for an All-Pro in Za'Darius Smith. Does that just automatically get forgotten? You traded for him and gave up absolutely nothing to get him. So you don't mention that. You mentioned the Ohio State lineman, and again, the Browns haven't been known to draft Buckeyes since really Denzel Ward, I believe. And outside of that, I mean, you drafted DeJuan Jones in the 4th round when he wasn't projected to be there. Some thought he was even a late 1st, early 2nd-round pick. You get Luke Whippler, some believe is the 2nd-best center in the draft in the 6th round. And then regarding Dorian Thompson-Robinson, you have Josh Dobbs on a 1-year, $2 million contract. That's it. You bring in Dorian Thompson-Robinson because you could have him for the next 4 years, pay him around $500,000 to be your backup quarterback for the next couple of years. And that's going to help with paying Deshaun Watson as much money as they are. So when I see this grade too, it kind of makes me laugh because they're not mentioning Za'Darius Smith, which is one of the biggest acquisitions for any team in the NFL. Forget just the Browns. I mean, you're adding an all-pro defensive end that's consistently been one of the top edge rushers in the NFL. And they don't even mention Elijah Moore, who I still think is going to have a breakout season this year and lead the Browns in receptions, not necessarily yardage, but receptions, because he's going to be that security blanket for Deshaun Watson and never had the talented quarterback around him that he's going to have now. You forget 2 of the Browns' biggest moves, and you grade them a C. So, yeah, that to me, I have to admit, I don't understand it whatsoever. But you know what? I also look at that, and I hope the players see that and they use that fuel as motivation. I love things like that because that's what we call bulletin board material.
Yeah, it's almost like you pick certain things to get to the grade you wanted to get to, and that's what they did. So it's neither here nor there. But I just a C. It's like, okay.